I'm so excited about this episode of Wellness by Design because I have Tom Paladino here. You can tell looking at his background there, it's like he's a mad scientist. And he kind of is a mad scientist, aren't you, Tom?
Why not? If that does it, okay.
I'm really excited about this work today, being it's the intersection of science and spirituality. And I think actually, the more I learn about science, new science, is that it's actually proving spirituality, which I think is pretty exciting. And I think that's what you're going to talk about too. So, first of all, how does someone kind of get to do the work that you've done and tell us a little bit about that? You're into scalar energy. So I
Yes.
know we're going to talk about that, but how did you get into scalar energy?
As a youngster, I was reading about Nikola Tesla. Tesla was the first scalar light, scalar energy scientist who could control the energy through instrumentation. He was brilliant. So we're not going
Hmm.
to speak about electricity. We're going to speak about scalar energy, what some people call 0 point energy or consciousness. This
Hmm.
is a non-physical energy. It's intelligence. It has no protons or electrons involved.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. So you were a kid, you were interested in Tesla,
Yeah.
and were you like, I'm going to be a scientist when I grow up?
Yes, yes, I wanted to do that. That was my passion, and I'm living out my passion now. That's correct. Yep.
That's absolutely beautiful. So tell us about what was it about Tesla's work that really intrigued you?
He was successful. When a scientist shows success, when a scientist shows that they can make an improvement in the real condition, and it's a repeated process by engineered instruments, then it's not hyperbole. It's not autosuggestion. It's science. And
Hmm.
this is what Tesla has achieved, and I've achieved that likewise with scientifically engineered instruments. If we can work with nature through way of instrumentation, then yes, this is valid and it offers great prospect because it is repeatable. It can be demonstrated from one person to another.
So this is a form of energy
Yes,
that replaces what we use for energy now.
it can be. Yes,
It
yes,
it can.
yes.
You got to wonder why, like, why didn't this happen, way back when Tesla, was and it was repeatable then. Why didn't it move
You're right.
forward?
You're right. Tesla started with AC electricity and then he introduced radiant energy or scalar energy. So we went from the electron to non-physical intelligence. Well, why aren't we using scalar energy or this non-physical intelligence? It's free. It's too simple. It's too easy. And you can't make money off of it as you can with the electromagnetic grid.
Mhm. So, so the powers that be, I guess, that are have made money, I mean, they don't
Yes.
want people using this on a mass scale. Like,
Right.
are you a little like concerned for your safety at times?
No, no,
No.
God protects me. And at this stage of the game, you can't stop this movement. We have the internet. We have a grassroots movement that is building. Tesla never had the internet. That was his problem.
Right.
Today, there's a dissemination of information. It's not just controlled by the what I would call the Rockefeller Press Club. So we have a new way of getting out the information. Thank you for your podcast audience. These are free energy instruments behind me. I'll demonstrate them. And this offers to the world a new branch of physics, if you will, that will change the world for the better.
Mm. Okay, let's see it because
Okay,
so yeah,
okay,
let's
okay,
see what you got behind you there.
okay. So, what was Tesla doing with radiant energy, what he called radiant energy? He was tapping, and he mentioned this many times, he was tapping into the sun. So, this is a miniature sun behind me, if you will. This scalar energy instrument, and I'll show the audience real quickly. This is the instrument, and there's a pulsation of energy going into the coils. I'm pointing to the coils. And if it acts, if it's a miniature sun, it should be able to light up a light bulb, and it does so when I can pass a light bulb within its vicinity. So that's, if you will, a demonstration of this radiant energy so powerful it can illuminate a light bulb in my hand. So what am I demonstrating? A miniature sun. This is not an electrical instrument. Now, in practice, what I've done with this instrument, and I'm keeping it at the non-physical level, I can work with what I call quantum health, energetic health, not working with people in a biological sense, working with their aura or force field. All of my work is non-physical. So how do I do that? People will email me their photograph. I work through a person's force field on a photograph. So people never come to my laboratory. People rather email me their photograph and I place their photograph inside the instrument. So the instrument picks up on their aura or their, if you will, their force field energy and can access that dimension of energy. Again, it's not electronics, it's a new branch of physics.
This is hard for people to get their head around, right? Like how, and I guess we need to go back to what we know from science, quantum science, in which not everyone's talking about. I'm talking about a lot that we are actually energy, and the very building blocks of us are photons, right?
Right, that's correct. That's
Right.
correct.
So we are actually beings of light.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But there's something above that, which are instructions, which is intelligence. So before you have electrons, protons, and photons, you need intelligence to instruct that. So I don't work at the photonic level. I work at the level of intelligence. All of my work is non-physical energy. I'd rather work at the realm of intelligence than have to be, if you will, relegated to the realm of chemicals and
Mhm.
physical action.
Right.
So in other words, we are driving the car. If you're at the realm of intelligence, you drive the car, you don't push the car.
Right. So you're like the engine on a train, not the caboose.
Yes, thank you so much. Very, and not to be snide about it, but this is the way Tesla wanted to power the world through this non-physical energy. So where does the energy come from? Once again, the sun and the stars. You don't need a power plant. The power plant are the stars.
Wow. Um, so how, all right, you talked about this is, I mean, it's got all kinds of life-changing
Yes,
repercussions, right?
yes, it
In
does.
how we live our lives, how
Yes,
we move around. But you mentioned health there, right? And
yep, yes.
how you're
There,
working at the energetic level,
correct. Yeah,
people's energy field, which
correct.
you can access through a photograph.
Correct. I'll explain. My photograph, again, is non-physical information. So there's actually two Toms. There's the biological physical Tom, and then there's my aura or my force field. I'd much rather work with a force field than the biological Tom. So a photograph carries my non-physical information. Now, I've perfected this technique. Let's say I had the Epstein-Barr virus, and I do this in practice. If I take these two photographs, a photograph of the Epstein-Barr virus, and I match it up or I communicate it with my photograph, the two photographs communicate intelligence. It's not a chemical process. If I had Epstein-Barr inside of me on my photograph, embedded in me, the instrument, the energy would look for Epstein-Barr as a signal in me on my quantum field and eradicate it or bring it to a state of chaos. So working at the realm of intelligence, consciousness, we look for the intelligence of Epstein-Barr and we nullify, we negate the intelligence of Epstein-Barr. Lo and behold, people feel better because we're working at the level of intelligence, not the chemical level.
Okay, tell me if I'm correct on this analogy. And it may not even be analogy, it might be the real thing. If we've got a wave, right, and then you put this other wave in that sort of like noise
Yes,
canceling
yes,
headphones. Is that how,
yes,
is that's kind of the idea? The waves cancel each other out, so you
yes.
get nothing.
Yes, exactly. Now we could explain that in electromagnetic theory, and that's indeed what happens. So is there some parallel to scalar? Yes. There's intelligence and anti-intelligence. There's intelligence and there's chaos. So if you take what is intelligence, let's call that a virus, and you subject it to anti-intelligence or chaos, it either breaks apart, disassembles, eradicates, it loses its signal, it loses its intelligence. You bring a virus to a state of chaos,
Mm.
and nothing can exist in chaos. Chaos is a disordered system.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you introduce disorder to it. Um, okay,
Yes.
I want to come back to the photograph because I know some people might be thinking, what? Photograph carries information. So again, I
Oh,
got another little analogy. Tell me if it works or not.
sure, sure.
We're used to the idea of a tape, for example, like a videotape or
Yes.
cassette tape. You know, it's just a tape, but it's got information on it, right? We play it, we see the video or and we hear the sound. Similar kind of idea?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Whether it's a photograph or if we go back a VHS tape, okay, or a flash drive, let's, a flash drive has our photographs, or even if I went into Facebook, whether it's a photograph that I printed out or your photograph on Facebook or Twitter, that photograph has an energy field. It's you. It's just like your fingerprint. If my fingerprint is unique to my biology, to my physical presence, my photograph is unique. My photograph is my energetic fingerprint, whether it's on a piece of paper or on Facebook.
Hmm. All right. Okay, trying to think about so we're talking about scalar energy. You mentioned scalar energy comes from the sun and the stars, right? Well, the sun
That's
is a
right.
star.
That's right.
So it's like a never-ending kind of energy.
Yes.
I'm thinking, I've heard a lot over the years about how the ancient Egyptians, they had some kind of energy. I mean, obviously not the kind that we're using today. Do you think they were using scalar energy?
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. They understood how to tap into this sun energy. It's not very difficult. You have to know the secrets. And the secrets are you work in harmony with nature. There's a lot of ratio and proportion to this work. So you create a miniature universe. This instrument is a miniature star. I follow the ratio and proportion of the universe. And I simply find my way into that fabric of the universe. I'm not recreating a new universe. I am copying the universe.
A little like model of a universe.
Yes, it's a miniature star. Yes.
Huh.
You see,
Can
with
anyone
what?
learn this? Can anyone do this,
Yes.
or is it do you need years of studying physics to understand this?
Well, you have to understand scalar physics, which
Okay.
is not electromagnetics. See, the problem is a lot of people get into this and they try and relate this to electricity. This is not electricity. And then they're looking for some physical mass or some physical unit, such as a photon or some basic unit. There's no basic unit, it's infinite. It's intelligence. You can't measure intelligence. There's no basic unit for intelligence or consciousness. There might be a basic unit for a mile or a kilometer. There's no basic unit for consciousness. So you have to be able to use your intuition and you have to be able to extrapolate these ideas. This is quite abstract. There is no physicality here.
This is hard for people to get their heads around. But we're talking about this light. So how is light related to this then?
It's non-physical light. It all begins with the sun and the star. At the very center of a star is non-physical scalar energy. When that light, scalar light, leaves the star, then it starts to pick up, if you will, ether, and it creates, if you will, chemical reactions. But at the very center of a star, it's not chemical, it's non-physical intelligence. It's
Hmm.
spirit. It's the world of spirit. And once we have the world of spirit, then it will degrade into the chemical world.
Right. Okay. So this is what we're talking about with the intersection of
Yes.
spirituality and then
And
our
and
physical world
science.
and the
Yes.
science. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you had this photograph like this using scalar energy for health? How long have you
Yeah.
been doing this, and
I
how does it work?
I I learned this from an American inventor. The name is Hieronymus. I never met the inventor, but I met his wife, and I was able to purchase scalar energy instruments back as far as back in the 90s. I actually met the Hieronymus family in 1993, and that family gave me a head start. Sadly, nobody in the family remains. Everybody's deceased. So I carry on with their work. So that was my head start. And this instrument is modeled after the work of Galen Hieronymus, but he's long gone. He was born in 1895. So the point is this: it's one generation after another that picks up the work of the preceding scientists of the preceding generation. I hope somebody, if I die, will pick up my work because it takes that generational linking.
Mm. So you mentioned that this is not patented, right?
That's correct.
It's you're sharing it through grassroots. So
Yes.
how is that movement going?
Great. Why? Because people are interested. And when I work at a grassroots movement, there's no politics. I don't answer to a board of directors. I don't have to deal with a government agency. I don't have to worry about money. I don't have to worry about stocks and shares and pleasing shareholders. All of that is obviated. I
Hmm.
just concentrate on research and I'm very productive. And it's the people who carry the movement. It's all grassroots.
Hmm. So getting back to using scalar energy for health, you use the photograph. How does that procedure work? Someone I know on your website,
Yeah.
people can send in a picture.
Yeah.
How does that? What happens when someone sends in their picture?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, as education, I have to tell people what this is all about. And
Yeah.
if they're inclined, they read the information on the website. And then on the website, we have an opportunity. Anybody can email us a photograph and pro bono, no questions asked. We'll treat your photograph, your force field, for 15 days. That's how we prove this. Now, to be clear, this has never been duplicated. Nobody has this instrument. My process is unique, so I'm the only one in the world with this unique protocol. So I prove it by what? By offering everybody in the world 15 days of free energy sessions.
Wow. And so have you been doing those and what have been the results?
The results are excellent. It proves to people that it works, or I should say, people prove it to themselves. We have thousands of testimonies for all types of what I would say spiritual, mental, and physical ailments. And according to the people, they feel better. Now, to illustrate, this instrument, again, working in the quantum field, is not Newtonian science.
Right.
There is no medical testing for this. I don't claim to be any medical testing because we're not working with the physical body, we're working with the aura or the spirit. So this will require a new understanding, a new definition of science, and a new way of testing that science.
Mm. Uh, well, I'm no scientist, but I would think, at some point there would be like clinical trials and because on just the paradigm we're in, people need that to believe it.
Yes, yes, they do. Yeah,
And
they
that's
do.
okay.
Yes,
That's okay, right?
that's
Um,
fun.
so you said you've got thousands of testimonials. Is it like in 15 days people are done, or does it depend on how much chaos there is in there?
we
In,
we treat everybody for 15 days because many people say, show me what you can do. So after 15 days, most people, that's their litmus test. They feel better. If they want to go on, there's paying option for 30-day sessions. But I at least want to offer everybody on the planet 15 days of free sessions. That way I can introduce my unique technique. This can only be experienced. Okay, this has never been duplicated. So how do you experience it? By
mm.
signing up.
Well, so listeners we'll have the link there. They can go and send in their picture for
Yes.
free, try it out
Yes.
for 15 days.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, try it
And
out.
and then do they are you in touch with them again or how do
We,
you capture people's results?
we send daily emails explaining the process, and then people will share their feedback or ask questions. After that, we leave it up to the people. I have a hands-off approach. I
Mhm.
won't push this. People have to be convinced. So the convincing is the energy, it's not me. And to be very clear, when I operate these instruments, there's no human reasoning. The energy does the work. The animating force is the energy. There's no human input on my part.
Mhm. Mhm. So your input was making the machines and
That's right. That's right. In developing a process, other than that, it's the energy that works. It's sort of like getting on a plane. Once the plane has been engineered, you just sit down, the plane flies you.
Mhm. Mhm. And the more I learn about energy and and matter or non-matter. And the more I realize uh, that, we are energy, it makes total sense to me that things are happen in the energy field first, things get
Yes.
fixed in the energy field first,
Yes.
and rather than working on at here, it's so far down the line,
Yes.
so far down the line.
You're right.
So it makes a lot of sense to me. Tom, do you see energy, or any of that? Are you one of,
I,
a lot of people say they can see energy. Do you see
n-
that?
no, I can't. Every once in a while, during a lightning storm, my instrument will start imitating lightning, and I'll have little lightning sparks. But other than that, I cannot see the energy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a seer of energy, but we feel it. And for people that maybe are having doubts, I mean, just think we don't give a second thought about, EEG machines and all that,
Right.
which are measuring. It's a different type of energy, but it's still measuring energy, and they can measure the electromagnetic field from the heart,
Yes.
10 feet away from the body. So, there's more going on than what we see physically. There's more to us. And yeah, so I think getting at the energy field first makes a whole lot of sense. So you're saying that scalar energy is the future of healthcare. That's a bold statement. And how do you see that falling out in our society?
Through people, through the acceptance of people. There are going to be many institutions, even government agencies, that will not want this. But the key is the people will demand it. Let the people speak, let the people experience this. If there's good results, you can't sweep those under the rug. Good results will stand for themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of organizations, I would say, that make money from people being sick and
Right,
staying sick.
right.
Um, but I think people aren't don't want to be sick, right? And they don't want to they want to live a full and complete life. So that's why I wanted to have you on this podcast, is for
Yep.
people to hear about this, that there's another option. I mean, I do believe that there's other options, but yeah, I'd love to see this bigger scale so that more and more people could take advantage of it. But let's just make sure that people, if you're listening, watching, check out the link, sign up, and see for yourself, right? Just see for yourself. Do you feel
That's right.
better afterwards? Do you
That's
have
right.
something like what I have found working with people in general is that I need to get them to rate however they're feeling or what's going on beforehand, and then do it
Yes.
afterwards. Because when people start feeling better, they forget how bad they felt.
Yep. But thank you. That and I ask people to journal. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Sure, why not? Sure.
Yeah, I know. I think it's good because it's people really do forget as they're feeling better. They forget how it's like, look, talk to any woman who's given birth, right? We
Yeah.
forget what that felt like,
Yeah.
right? Afterwards, it's like, ah, it wasn't that bad. But when you're going through it, you wouldn't say that.
Right.
Um,
That's a good
right.
point.
But yeah, and the same with a lot of health conditions. Like I help people with chronic pain a lot. And so people forget as they start feeling better how bad they were. If it wasn't for looking back at journals or like their scales that they did, pain scales, or like photographs and things like that, they wouldn't realize how far they've come.
Yeah.
So is there anything, Tom, that we haven't covered yet that you'd really like to make sure people understand?
No, I think that's pretty thorough. And I think just to, if you will, once again, inculcate this thought. All action begins with instructions. Okay? The physical action is always preceded by some type of intelligence, whether it's a galaxy, whether it's driving to the supermarket. Sure, you get in a car and you physically drive, but first comes the intelligence, the thought that you need to go to the supermarket. So this is the intelligence that guides everything. Soul, mind, and body is guided by intelligence, scalar intelligence.
I like to think about the like microcosms and macrocosms, right? That we are a microcosm of this bigger macrocosm, and our cells are even tinier microcosms, right? Than we are. So it's all scales, and that seems kind of funny to me now that we're talking about scalar energy, right? But
Yes.
it is just scales, just keep getting bigger, fractals if you want to think about it that way, just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, Tom, I always ask our guests what is one thing someone could do today that's going to begin to initiate healing in their body. It's a show about living intentionally,
Yes.
making those decisions that are going to
Yep.
empower people in their health. What would you
Yep.
say?
Which parallels our thought today. Intention is intelligence. What am I getting at? Your mental state, your emotions. What's thinking, what is feeling? A thought is non-physical scalar energy. An emotion is non-physical scalar energy. And this has been proven. The way you think, the way you feel is the way you project not only to yourself, but to others. Everybody's in control of the scalar energy force field. Our thoughts are transcend time and space. They are non-physical scalar energy thoughts. Our feelings transcend time and space. That's non-physical intelligence that likewise transcends time and space. I've always said this, God has given everybody a mind and a heart. Use that appropriately to heal yourself, to make your life better, happier. The way we think, the way we feel dictates the outcome in our life.
Oh my goodness, this is stuff I say all the time. You just said it in a different way. I love that, Tom. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
So we'll have the links there, but just for the people that are listening, where is the best place for people to find out more about your work and what you're doing?
Scalarlight.com, SCALAR, scalarlight.com. Anybody can visit the website. Avail yourself. Include your family and pets. Get your family's permission. Email us your photograph. You have to do nothing. You don't need to change your diet. Watch what happens in 15 days. The greater majority of people say that they feel better. Why? We're sending this divine intelligence into your aura. It's not a chemical process, it's non physical information. There's no side effect because your photograph cannot have an adverse side effect.
So good. So good. And you're on Instagram as well, right? And Facebook?
That's that's correct. Correct. Go to our
Scalar Light?
yes. Go to our website. At the bottom of the homepage is our social media handles. Thank you.
Okay. Really, really interesting, Tom. Thank you. Can I build one of those things at home?
It's going to take you some training, but eventually, I want the world to avail themselves to this technology.
Wonderful. I hope we get there. I
We
hope we get
will with people like you. Thanks for the interview.
Thanks so much for being a guest today, Tom. And I really hope that this has inspired people to take that action to go and get their send their photographs into you, but just to even open your mind to a new possibility that there is more going on. There's more to us than our physical body. There's an intelligence beyond us that I've and maybe you can help me with this, but I feel like it's a loving, it's non-chaos, right? It's a
Yes.
loving kind of
Yes.
intelligence that wants the best for us, and we can tap into that intelligence.
Yeah. Thank
Yep.
you. Remember what I said. I don't have to think. The energy has this inbuilt intelligence, divine intelligence. What could be better? It's God's intelligence. There's no room for human error. There's no human thinking here, people.
We just got to get out of the way.
Exactly.
Oh, Tom, this has been a really great interview. Thank you so much for being a guest on Wellness by Design today.
Thank you.
And thanks for the great work that you're doing.
My pleasure.
All right, everyone, we'll see you again soon. Leave us a comment or a review. Let us know what you think. Check out Tom's website and let us know. Did you notice a change after 15 days? I'd love to hear it. All right, take care, everyone. We'll see you again soon.